वैराग्यविद्या निजभक्तियोगा शिक्षार्थमेक पुरुषपुराण श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यशरीरधारी कृपां बुधिर्यतमहं प्रपद्ये मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna. Warm welcome everyone in the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We'll continue our study. Today we will see from chapter 18, text 68. Bhagavad Gita na fascinating journey again, fascinating episode dialogue Krishna and Arjuna having together, and it is not one way. It's not just Krishna speaking, and it's a two-way process altogether. Dialogue means two-way, na? Dialogue can never be one way. So it's a two-way process. Krishna speaking, Arjuna listening. Arjuna speaking, Krishna listening. Uh, Krishna is the best speaker, Krishna is the best listener, Krishna is the best silent person as well. Uh, How residing as Paramatma in our hearts is silent, helping us, guiding us and all. And best listener, Krishna in his Bhagwan Roop. He likes to listen, he likes to talk. Mm, Best. See, this world teaches us what? The world teaches us to be achievers. Mm, The world says, achieve this, get this. The world teaches us to achieve things. What are your achievements? This is what is asked, right? In school, college, uni, and all. Further, what are your achievements? What have you achieved? What have you made so far? And this sort of achievement definitely is a passionate achievement. In world, success means passion. Passions means success. How much passionate, that is kind of the, say, the measurement for success. And Krishna consciousness teaches us what? To be receivers. To be receivers of mercy, not achievers. No, we are not here to achieve. We are here to receive. Receive grace, receive blessing. By receiving only, we become achievers. Mm, So Arjuna, by receiving only, he became is becoming uh, achiever. Likewise, us practicing Krishna consciousness, na, the more we are open to receive the mercy of Guru and Gaurang, the more we are aiming for mercy of Guru and Gaurang, the more we are aiming to receive mercy, that to that degree we become more achievers. So it is a Krishna consciousness teachings of Bhagavad Gita and teachings and say workings of Krishna consciousness is completely paradoxical. Society thinks, oh, there's nothing receiver. Don't be the receiver. No, achieve, work hard, rely on yourself. Of course, devotional life, Krishna conscious life does not mean that we do not work hard. We work hard. We should be working even harder. But for what? For whom? For the joy of Krishna, to attain Krishna, not for our mundane sense gratification. Mm. So our achievement is in receiving. Mm. Our achievement is what? In receiving the mercy of Krishna, being accepted by Krishna. And then Mahaprabhu and Ramanand Rai, they had their samvad in Chaitanya Chaitamrit Madhya Lila chapter 8. Beautiful chapter, beautiful dialogue between Ramanand Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu asks Ramanand Rai a series of questions. One of the question is like, what is the biggest fame among fame? What is the biggest fame in this world? So Ramanand Rai says that to be recognized as a devotee of Krishna is very famous. Hmm. That fame, oh, there goes a devotee of Krishna, gives such a joy. Bhakta, na? Bhakta. So it is great to be addressed as Bhakta. Mm. Shriman or His Grace is fine. That is a bit more formal. But Bhakta sounds even more uh, this closeness with Krishna. Oh, here goes a Bhakta of Krishna. Here goes a Krishna Bhakt. He's a devotee of Krishna, Bhakta of Krishna. So that recognition is the highest fame, is the best fame. Sadhaka experiences such a joy when someone calls and thinks, "Oh yeah, you are a devotee of Krishna." Yes, we are to an extent, though conditioned, and we aspire to become a pure devotee of Krishna. And that can happen not by going through the path of, say, achieving, no. That can happen, come about by receiving. So we have to be recipients of mercy. Mercy can only be received, it can never be, say, acquired or this thing achieved. Definitely no. We make all efforts for it, and it's not like, okay, you deserved it. No, we do not deserve anything. We do not deserve Golok Vrindavan for sure. But it is by acknowledging that I do not deserve, that is the quality which makes us deserving. By acknowledging that we do not deserve, and not just acknowledging, firmly living by it, firmly believing, firmly acting, putting it throughout in our consciousness that we actually do not deserve Golok Vrindavan, but it is the causeless mercy of devotees that whatever Krishna consciousness is bestowed upon us, and whatever Krishna conscious practice we are doing, it is all because of the mercy of pure devotee of Krishna. The mercy of Krishna acts through the channel of his pure devotee. Mercy of Krishna is not independent, it is dependent actually on the mercy of the pure devotee of Krishna. Uh, So the reason we are practicing Krishna consciousness is because, like, okay, previous life we also might have practiced Krishna consciousness, na? In the just very previous life. Mm. But we couldn't manage to sustain a mood, a focus, and make it all the way through. We couldn't manage to cry our heart to Krishna altogether. We couldn't manage to develop a eternal bond with him, a dependency, a relationship, a loving relationship with him to a to our fuller capacity. But nonetheless, because we perform some devotional service, we serve Vaishnava sadhus, and it is their blessing, the blessings of Mahat Purush, that in this life again it has put us in contact with devotees. And now, throughout the rest of the life, if we can appreciate that mercy, uh, what devotees have done for us, appreciate that mercy, that wow, how I've been blessed, I don't deserve any of that. Then we can see a real advancement in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness will take another turn. Uh, so, with this mood, prayer, aspiration, attitude, pray that we ever remain beggars of mercy. Uh, with achievement comes a sense of what? Accomplishment, na? A sense of ownership, a sense of possessiveness. It comes with this achievement, ownership, possessiveness, passionate mentality. It comes with this achievement, and with receiving what comes a sense of a sense of dependency, a sense of acknowledging that Krishna, I'm incomplete without you. Mm. With receiving comes a sense of a dependency and a sense of satisfaction. Wow, we are receiving mercy of Krishna. Na? So sense of achievement comes a sense of arrogance with achievement, and with mercy comes a sense of humility. So we should dovetail, we should focus, we should channelize, we should mold our life in a way that we do not carry any iota of pride, puffed up nature in us. No, any adamant, any arrogance is not good for a sadhaka's jivan. It does not belong to a sadhaka, and we should make all efforts to cry out for mercy, for help. So no sense of accomplishment, no sense of achievement, say we should be living, no sense of pride or arrogance, and all sense of what? Humility. Mm. Pride should be what? Pride that I'm a devotee of Krishna. Yes. Uh, Devotee of Krishna loves me, cares for me. So pray that we become the first listener of the study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and we ever remain beggars of mercy of Krishna consciousness. Never ever we should entertain any iota of thought that I am any better than anyone else. No, we are not here in a competition. uh, that we ever remain. We do not carry any sense of this passionate achievement. No, and we continue serving even more rigorously, do more hard work for the pleasure of Krishna and his devotees. So, with this prayer, mood, hope, aim, aspiration, we continue our study of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text 68 onwards. Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu vidhasyati bhaktim mahi param kritva mamivashyasti asamsaya. Harsha read translation, Venus read purport.
For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me.
Perfect. Generally, it is advised that Bhagavad Gita be discussed amongst the devotees only. For those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad Gita. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Bhagavad Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad Gita whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter of the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach a pure devotional state of life. As a result of such a pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Translation. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me.
Yeah. Prabhupada's purports are exemplary. Bhagavad Gita is very simple, the knowledge is very simple. Prabhupada purports they bring the knowledge out altogether. So, for one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come to me. Na? This is Krishna again continuing. Krishna, whatever Krishna has said is like his promise. Na? Whatever Krishna has said is like set in stone altogether. Yes. So this also, not so many statements. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come to me. So Bhagavad Gita, yes, it should be described amongst the devotee community only. A question could then be raised, okay, if it is just discussed and read in devotee community, then how others will benefit, those who haven't yet joined the devotee community? So, uh, how would they benefit? They would benefit when we need to preach, na? When we preach Bhagavad Gita. But preaching means what? Checking, assessing, na situation, assessing the time, place, situation, circumstance, and the person. Uh, So when we preach, we shouldn't just go straight. Okay, the glories of Bhagavad Gita. This is the glory. This is the ultimate glory, and all. No, preaching should be to elevate person to take into Krishna consciousness and check accordingly. Uh, It should not be too straight jump into with someone who has not found out his faith yet, and we tell him the inner secrets of Bhagavad Gita or Krishna consciousness. Common, na? In life also we do not share our inner secrets with someone. Definitely not with a stranger or not with a just a known to person. No, someone who is very close, only with him or her will share the secret. No? So likewise, this message of Bhagavad Gita is not to be the secret say of the message of Bhagavad Gita, the charm, the pure love. It is not to be just advertised say cheaply, because the faith has to be there. Na? Otherwise, people will take it cheaply only. Uh, we have to cultivate sincerity and good faith in ourselves, and then us being a beggar of mercy, a recipient of mercy, then we will channelize that faith will be transferred from us into others. Mm. And others will also then be able to take on to the message of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is an activity done completely off the material platform. Mm. So it is an activity of the soul proper, Krishna consciousness. It's not at all a mundane activity. It is not an activity of this world. It has got nothing to do as such with this world, Krishna consciousness. Very sacred, very pure altogether. So something which is so sacred, so sublime, so pure, we just don't share the intricacies or the finer details or the conclusive points just with someone. No, one who is a friend, one who is non-envious, who is non-jealous, and some friendship, then yes, gradually, then gradually. Otherwise, by sharing it with everyone, we won't be doing any good to ourselves, but we'll be putting others only in danger. Why? Because we will be creating a situation wherein they get an opportunity very easy, very readily available to do what? Vaishnava Aparadh, to criticize devotees, to criticize Harinam, mm, to criticize Krishna conscious practice, and that is very lethal, very dangerous. So it is a life of watchfulness, carefulness, Krishna consciousness. And Prabhupada said, now there is some criteria to help advance in Krishna consciousness, to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita uh, by making notes, listening, listening and making notes. Uh, so this Krishna consciousness is understood in the association of devotees only. We'll go that far only as our devotee association allows. Sincerity and good faith is required. And Krishna derives a lot of pleasure, lots and lots of pleasure when this message is shared amongst devotee community. When devotees are sharing Krishna consciousness to each other, relishing. Krishna says na Bhagavad Gita 10.9 in chapter 10 we see na Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathyant Kathyantischa Bodhayanta Parasparam Namasyantascha Mam Tushyam Kathyanti cha Ramanti cha. So this Bhagavad Gita na, it's like we discussed na, it is like a this spiral, it creates a spiral. Uh, creates a spiral. How? Like we study now, when we study, we are studying the same books over and over again. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Chaitamit. Then what do? We do japa. Same mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One same mantra we are chanting again and again, over and over again. Means it is completely spiritual of the material platform altogether. And it is this spiral, na? We read again and again, but same thing we are reading. Although repeatedly, but the same thing. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Chaitamit, Japa, of course, the same Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Wherever we go, we just chant this one same mantra. Temples or offices and all, wherever we go and chant the same mantra. So by doing it over and over again, we find newer and newer joy, much higher and higher joy. So it creates like a spiral. Our consciousness every time will get more refined, more developed, more refined. Unlike this academic education and study, if we do it over and over again, we do not learn anything new. Rather, we just mm, contain some information and just process that information. There's no real learning, there's no peace, there's no satisfaction. Whereas studying Bhagavad Gita scriptures or going through this text, one will find more natural position or more in a suitable position condition to further take more knowledge and advance more and more in Krishna consciousness. So this is the attitude here. Krishna is helping us understand what should be the attitude of the sadhaka. Again, our attitude should never be into achieving mentality that I want to achieve this. Our attitude should always be that we be blessed by the blessings and grace of Krishna. So whatever comes to us, we should take it in a form of blessing. A conditioned soul should not try to implicate things by himself. It's not so good. A conditioned soul desiring and something and going by it uh, without checking it with devotees. We are not here to just be a self centered person, self learning, self service, and all. No, no. We are here to share the message of Krishna consciousness altogether, which again comes with developing a mood of sincerity, humility, dependenceness, not at all with a mood of arrogance, pride. No. And if we just become a bit sincere, help is round the corner. Na? We'll grow more, we'll get to know more. See, this is the thing Krishna is saying that share this Krishna consciousness in an appropriate way with others and then take the highest joy, the highest credit. The highest joy, again, Harinam, preaching, book distribution, sharing Krishna consciousness with others is the ultimate highest joy for a sadhaka. Okay, any thoughts, questions, or comments?
Hare Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking on the same note of when as it is said, like as you mentioned that we should only sort of like introduce Bhagavad Gita and people, or as in the verse also says, like to the people who are ready to accept the Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, right? So it's like, so it is the same as it goes with the Maha Mantra. So it's like, um, because if the people are not ready to accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead, they might make a lot of offenses while chanting the Maha Mantra, or doesn't, or that's fine, or does, or I was like, because I'm a little bit confused about like, um, I was like, because I've been thinking in my mind like how it, when you start practicing, right? It's like how to like sort of like not make offenses, because you're like still kind of like in that position where you like haven't accepted Krishna as a supreme person of a Godhead. So if you
The,
yeah.
the ninth offense, the ninth offense in chanting the holy names of Krishna says, na, what to instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. It's not that we do not give a holy name. Yeah, holy name is freely given, should be given to everyone. But the glories of the holy name is something covered, and we should not bring that out. Mm, So we have to free ourselves from offensive mentality, first of all. Not be critical, not be offending. And how can we create an environment, a platform? Na? Krishna consciousness is an environment, a platform wherein others feel welcomed, others feels comfortable, and they're able to practice in a very friendly manner. And the faith has to be always checked, and the faith has to be restored, that they are finding their growing faith in Krishna consciousness. So it is this thing, uh, not to instruct the glories of the chanting of the holy name. And the glories of the Mahamantra, again, Krishna's name, form, his pastimes, his abode, his paraphernalia, his associates, they are non-different. Prasadam is non-different from Krishna, holy name is non-different from Krishna, even service is non-different. So, but we are not in that consciousness, na? So this is like a very glorious thing. But if we something very glorious and we give it to someone who is not having that appropriate mood, faith, then what he will do? He will misuse only. And that's like, okay, we are creating a situation wherein the other person create an offense. So that is not good. And for ourselves as well, a sadhaka na, okay, he does not have much to as such worry about sins. Well, naturally following regulative principles, one becomes free from sins. One stops sinning when one comes to dharma, practicing Krishna consciousness in association of devotees. But then next, our struggle is what? Offenses, aprad. That is the gap between us and Krishna, offenses. So now we have to free ourselves from offensive mentality, and also we do not create an environment or situation for others wherein they can become offenders. Uh, So that is what, do not share this message, the glories of Bhagavad Gita, the glories of Chaitanya Chaitamya, the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, the glories of devotees practicing Krishna consciousness. It should be shared in a way that builds up their faith to gradually come to a position of practicing pure devotional service. Like we are also not practicing pure devotional service now, we are practicing devotional service, but in our conditioned way, in our conditioned state. And it has to be practiced very purely in the pure state. So it is to safeguard ourselves, to protect ourselves and the protect other person. We do not share the glories of the holy name, or we do not share the glories of the teachings or the benedictions say of Bhagavad Gita. Yad gatvana nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. Krishna says na, that perfecting Krishna consciousness, one will attain his abode, the highest abode. Uh, and Mahaprabhu has come to give us the highest abode, Radha Dasyam, service at the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So we should make the most of it. We should give our best and free ourselves from critical mentality. This is not when we have too much of free time. What do? We become like a critic. Uh, Critical mentality is not good. It's not a good employment engagement for the mind. It will drain us out. So we have to keep ourselves very nicely composed, reading, hearing, japa, mm, and good association, and free ourselves from any critical mentality, critical thoughts, offensive mentality, and all. Uh, Reveal our heart and mind to someone in confidence, check, uh, and continue practicing Krishna consciousness without creating much offenses, minimum, little, or no offense. There's three stages they say na, in the chanting in the Mahamantra Japa. In Japa, there are three stages. What? Namaprad. Chanting with offenses. That is the stage I am. Mm. Chanting with offenses. Namaprad. Mm. Then Namabhas. Mm. That okay. Now offenses stages, that offenses are cleared and all. And now when one does Japa Namabhas, Abhasna means like he gets to kind of know Krishna. Yes, oh, Krishna is round the corner. Namavasna, round the corner, free from sinful activities and almost there to attain Krishna. And then what's Shuddhanam? Shuddhanam is he has attained Krishna. Very powerful circle, very powerful name, very powerful seva. That is Shuddhanam. So we should all be preparing ourselves towards going there, Shuddhanam. So currently we are in Namaprad stage, so lots of offenses we do, and we again ask for forgiveness, but we might repeat also the same mistakes. So now a sadhaka's life is a life of full responsibility to free ourselves from critical mentality. and transform ourselves from Namaprad to Namabhas to Shuddhanam stage. Uh, In this life, we have to at least once, do one round of mala, half a round of mala, 3 minutes mala we do, but we aim to do like what? Shuddhanam. We pray for Shuddhanam. So we have to free from offenses. The distance between us and Krishna is offensive mentality only. And we are here not to teach anyone or to educate anyone. No. We need the most help. We need to be educated, reminded over and over again. So it is about building a mood, fixing a mood, which is very important. And the sooner the mood is set, the much better it is. Much, much better. Does that somewhat answer your question, Renas?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, yes.
Just like we see now in homes, family, and all. Suppose a tuition teacher, if he straight away tells the student the higher fundamentals of mathematics and other things in school level, it will destroy the faith of the student. Na? If teacher reveals way too much to the child than what he can take, it will destroy the child's faith. If at work also some subordinate is given way too much details and all, it will destroy his faith. Likewise, to protect our faith, Krishna says that those who are envious do not share the glories of Krishna consciousness with them. Okay, should we see next?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
let
think
us.
so. Yeah, I think so. Yes.
न च तस्मान्मनुष्येषु कश्चिन्मे प्रियकृत्तम भविता न च मे तस्माद् अनया प्रियतरो भुवि. I shall read translation. Or Anuja read translation. Okay,
There is
Renas.
no
Yeah.
servant, there is no
Hmm.
servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there be, nor will there ever be one more dear.
Hmm. So let us read a few and see. अध्यस्यते च य इमं धर्म्यं संवादम् आवयो ज्ञानयज्ञेन तेनाहम् इष्टश्यामैति मे मति. Okay, read Anuja. Harsha, Anuja, read someone or Renas if you can. Yeah, read Harsha.
And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence.
Haribol. Let us read next also. Huh? श्रद्धवाननसूयश्च शृणुयादपि नो यो नर सोऽपि मुक्तसुभाल्लोकान् प्राप्नुयात् पुण्यकर्मणाम्. Anuja read translation and Harsha read purports in turn. Anuja and Harsha read purports. Huh?
And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell.
In the 67th verse of this chapter, the Lord explicitly forbade the Gita's being spoken to those who are envious of the Lord. In other words, Bhagavad Gita is for the devotees only. But it so happens that sometimes a devotee of the Lord will hold open class. And in that class, not all the students are expected to be devotees. Why do such persons hold open class? It is explained here that although not everyone is a devotee, still there are many men who are not envious of Krishna. They have faith in him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions. If such persons hear from a bona fide devotee about the Lord, the result is that they become at once free from all sinful reactions, and after that attain to the planetary system where all righteous persons are situated. Therefore, simply by hearing Bhagavad Gita, even a person who does not try to be a pure devotee attains the result of righteous activities. Thus, a pure devotee of the Lord gives everyone a chance to become free from all sinful reactions and to become a devotee of the Lord.
Anuja, read.
Generally, those who are free from sinful reactions, those who are righteous, very easily take to Krishna consciousness. The word punya karmana is very significant here. This refers to the performance of great sacrifices like the Ashwamedha Yagna mentioned in the Vedic literature. Those who are righteous in performing devotional service but who are not pure can attain the planetary system of the Polistar or Dhruvaloka, Polestar or Dhruvaloka, where Dhruva Maharaj is presiding. He is a great devotee of the Lord and he has a special planet which is called the Polestar.
Read translation. Renas, you read translation.
Okay. One who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains the auspicious planets where the papayas dwell.
Hare Bol. This is the promise of Krishna, the offering of Krishna, and we should be very much intrigued by this. We should take it to our heart, practice Krishna consciousness wholeheartedly. Now, we were discussing the other day, प्रेम भक्ति भंडार की बड़ी अनोखी बात, ज्यों ज्यों खर्चे त्यों बढ़े, जो रखे घट जात. This is the thing with bhakti. The more we share, the more it grows. The more we pass on, the more we share, the more we give out, the more it grows. The more devotee, the more we help someone, the more we create a platform and environment helps someone to come into Krishna consciousness, to practice Krishna consciousness, the more we help ourselves, the more closer we come to Krishna. And in worldly sense is like very competition oriented. Even within family members, say parents might be having 5 children. Now they suppose parents' birthday or wedding anniversary is there. So they want to do something. What my comes better. My they even among siblings can come a sense of competition. And in that again creates achievement mentality, passionate mentality, and everything. But here we want to be beggars. Here we want to be receivers. We are praying for that. So when we first of all, we have to take the message very nicely. And once the message is imprinted in our consciousness nicely, then Krishna will use us as a vessel to pass on his message. Krishna is in search of whom? Humble people. Holy means humble. Uh, Without being humble, no holy. There's no holy person who is not humble. So holy person is like a humble person. So Krishna is in search of people who are humble, who are simple, who are honest. Can we be that person who is simple, honest, humble? That is devotee, na? That is devotee, one who is simple, honest, humble, and surrendered to the will of Krishna. In society, we'll find many people who are simple, humble, honest, but they are not necessarily Krishna conscious, as in they do not uh, pray, they do not fight, they do not work for the agenda of Krishna. Uh, And us, we have to pray, we have to dovetail, we have to shape up our life and everything so as to do what? So as to fulfill the agenda, the mission of Krishna. If not us, then how? Who will? Na? Mahaprabhu needs many help. Na? Mahaprabhu needs millions and millions of hands. Na? This is an ongoing mission. Uh, it will be an ongoing mission. And this mission is outliving us and will outlive us. Until and unless we cannot pass it on, we don't pass it on, we won't be able to receive. No. Uh, we'll be blocked heavily. And we don't want that. Mercy is something which we cannot ever think that, okay, I have enough mercy. I'm all right. I'm safe. Oh, I know Krishna consciousness. I practice. I understood. No. Until and unless we get direct darshan of Krishna and until and unless we get his seva, until and unless we achieve absolute consciousness, we are not at all safe. We cannot ever think that, okay, I have done enough bhakti. Bhakti is one thing which one cannot do enough. Mm. We can never think, okay, I've done 108 Rath Yatras, I'm liberated. Or I was born in Puri, I'm liberated. Uh, or I live in Puri and I will leave my body in Puri, I'm liberated. No. We have to develop a consciousness of utter humility. We don't deserve it somehow or other by causeless mercy of devotees. This has been given to us. So this society is a world of propaganda, na? So much of propaganda. Loads of propaganda going on and on. Who is going to do propaganda for Krishna? Krishna is also looking for some personality now who can propagate his mission. And for us to propagate Krishna's mission, we have to be humble, we have to be simple, we have to be honest. That is the criteria. Look, now Arjuna was so simple, so humble. He understood. Krishna wants me to fight. Yes, I will fight. Yeah, that is coming out of his comfort zone. He was stuck in his comfort zone. What? I don't want to fight. Stuck in his comfort zone. But later on, through this dialogue, Arjuna realized, no, Krishna wants me to fight. Then naturally, when we think of Krishna, when we start thinking of Krishna, when we start thinking of the joy of the care, shelter, protection of Krishna, that is Krishna consciousness. Thinking of Krishna means what? Thinking of the joy of Krishna. Not that thinking of Krishna and I become happy. Oh, if I get to think of Krishna, I'll be happy. No. A sadhaka never thinks of his happiness. He always should meditate of Krishna's happiness. Our happiness lies in what? In the happiness of the divine couple. So that should be our meditation. That is meditation. To think of Krishna again means to think of the joy of Krishna, to think of the pleasure of Krishna, to think of the protection of Krishna. When we start protecting God, then we'll find ourselves protected from all angles, all avenues. And it is not for this reason that we practice Krishna consciousness, that I stay protected, I stay safe, I stay secure. No, that is very mixed devotional service. Devotional service with desires, intention. No, we want to engage in param bhakti, param dharam, which is what ahetuki apratiyata ye atma suprasidate. Uh, Bhakti without any motive. The only motive is what? To give joy to the divine couple. Uh, Bhakti without any name, fame. So there are various barriers. Na? Lust is the most, is the starting point. Physical, bodily lust, na? Attraction, man and woman attraction, very heavy. We can never think that okay, I'm all right, I'm safe now, I'm better now. No, we definitely have a better start. We definitely are in a better position. We have a very head start. We are in a better position now. We are better off physically and other sense also. And what to say, we are practicing Krishna consciousness, associating with devotees. We are in such a better position. Out of this world population itself, we see we are very better position. But just having a better position does not guarantee us to become better, does not make us better. We are better off, but that does not mean that we are better. Now, if we consider ourselves to be blessed, then what is the prerogative on our part? What is the responsibility on our part to become fully blessed now? If I think that yes, I am very blessed, God has blessed me a lot, Krishna has blessed me a lot, then how do we repay this blessing? Of course, no one of us can repay the blessing, but at least we must make effort now. We must build that relationship. Mm. And how do we build that relationship? By becoming fully blessed, then not distracting ourselves anywhere, and certainly not distracting ourselves with this physical bodily relationship and sense enjoyment. No, not distracting ourselves where towards this money, mm, money and possessions, worldly possessions. No, and not distracting ourselves where towards name, fame. No, very subtle. Pride is very subtle, very subtle. Name, fame. So we should not have any business with it. See, practicing Krishna consciousness in our early days, definitely it comes in the sadhaka's life. As, in his early days in practice of Krishna consciousness, a moment comes when he genuinely wants to become humble, and he lives very humbly in ashram, say, or temple or outside of temple. He wants to know more, practice more, and he wants to develop this desire. Wow, I would want to become a pure devotee of the Lord in this life itself. Krishna consciousness is so amazing. It is the best thing. How fortunate I am that I've come across this. Prasadam, chanting, feasting, dancing. Na? Wow, great. Mm. But as we then practice, we come across this thing, and then we pray, we vow to ourselves, what? Okay, I will make it I will go all the way through. I'll cover this journey. I will make my best effort to be a pure devotee of Krishna. Look, when before coming into Krishna consciousness, before taking into Krishna consciousness, still we check, oh, is the society genuine? Are the people genuine? Is the books genuine? Or is it like an organized religion they are setting up and doing something behind the back and taking money or emotionally fooling me, say? So we check a lot of those things. Look at the irony. We are not pure, but we are checking, okay, is the other person pure? Okay, fair enough. And then when we find, yes, Harinam is very pure, Japa is very pure, beyond our capacity, uh, books and everything is very pure. But then what happens? We become impure. We just take casualty. Imagine 5 years down the line, and then when someone comes, oh yeah, casualty creeps in. So this familiarity breeds contempt. It is a curse in material life. But that familiarity, the same familiarity, if applied properly in good attitude, it is a blessing. We see na Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-20, Kapil Dev telling to Mother Devahuti, Prasangam Ajaram Pasam. Prasangam Ajaram. Okay, Renas, you can share screen maybe. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-20. Prasangam Ajaram Pasam. Atmana Kavayo Vidu. Sa eva sadhushu krito moksha dwaram apavritam. So this is Kapil Dev, incarnation of Krishna, speaking to his mother Devahuti, that uh, pasam na, this bond, this entanglement is very strong. The bond of attachment, very, very strong. Prasangam ajaram pasam. Atmana kavayo vidu. Atmana is like scholarly people, learned people. They have realized this, they have deduced this. Srimad Bhagavatam 3:25-20. So they have realized, deduced this Atmana kavayo vidu. Saiva sadhu sukrito. That same principle of attachment, when applied towards devotees, it frees one. It frees one from moksha dwar. It opens the doors of liberation for one. So prasangam acharam pasam na. Uh, the strong attachment, पास ना entanglement, पास पासाया rope भी पास ना rope भी बोलते हैं शायद. So like a rope, we are very bound up in this world. Now that same attachment has to be applied towards devotees. Okay, translation can be seen. Renas, you can read translation.
Every learned man knows very well that the attachment for the material is the greatest entanglement of the spiritual soul. But that same attachment, when applied to the self-realized devotees, opens the door of liberation.
So in our journey of Krishna consciousness, na, initially we plan what to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Yes, I would practice very nicely, wholeheartedly. I will be loyal to service. I will be loyal to reading, hearing japa. I will wake up early in the morning. I will be humble. I will make a change in myself and all. But then familiarity, na, and then what happens? We take, oh, I know the process. I know familiar, so much familiar. Na. But this is external familiarity which does not help. External familiarity does not help. So it is like, see what happens. First, we take kind of a vow within ourselves. Uh, First, we take a vow within ourselves. What? Oh, I will go all the way. Meaning, in a way, see what? Say a rich person, na? A rich person, he desires to become rich. He's very interested by richness, business. So he wants to do business and he wants to become very rich. So he sets a target. He says, okay, if I earn 100 billion pound, I would be the richest person in this world by far. So he starts with this aim. What? To earn 100 billion pound. He goes and naturally in order to earn 100 billion pound he has to work hard, he has to sleep less, eat less, sacrifice family, sacrifice some relationships, come out of his comfort zone. He has to handle insult also, he has to handle failure, uh, all of this in his pursuit, in his desire to make 100 billion pounds. And say in the process, over a period of time, he has earned how much? He has made how much? Say 50 billion pound. Now, 50 billion pound is also a big enough money. I don't know the current rich person how much is his holdings, but imagine 50 billion pound makes him the richest person in the world by far. Imagine, imagine the richest person is 1 billion pound and he earns what 50 billion pound. So yes, he's the by far a huge distance and the richest person in the world. But he's not 100 billion. He started off with what 100 billion. But where has he come 50 billion? And now what is he thinking? Oh, I've become 50 billion. Enough, 50 is good enough for me. I just 1 billion is the next. So I'm so ahead. Huh? I started off with 100, but that 100 vision is forgotten, can be forgotten. Na? And what? He settles down with 50 billion. Settling down is a curse in human form of life. So he settled down. Because why? Why he says, oh, 50 billion, I'm getting the same name, fame, accolade, praise. With money, what I wanted to enjoy, the same I'm enjoying with 50 billion. The richness, the opulence, everything is coming with 50 billion, then why do I have to strive for another 50 billion? I'm well ahead, and maybe this is what being rich means. So I've made it already. I'm free now. So such a thought may come to us as well, in the sense what? Okay, I've become a pure devotee now. Uh, I've developed a strong attachment and all. So I think I have made it. I must have made it. Mm, when we settle down. We cannot ever afford to settle down until and unless we had direct darshan of Krishna. That is also not enough. Mm. Until and unless we have situated ourselves in absolute consciousness, Krishna has accepted us in his entourage, and we have been allotted. We have cried out for an eternal engagement and eternal seva. Mm. Till then, there is no uh, easy time as such for us. No, we should not ever entertain that. Okay, I've done enough now. Okay, shall we see next? So next is which text is it, Renas? So then
I believe 72.
72.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
someone read 71, right?
Yes, yes. That was the last one. Yeah.
कचिदेत श्रुतं पार्थ त्यागे काग्रेण चेतसा कचित् अज्ञानसम्मोह प्रणस्तस्ते धनञ्जय. Okay, Rena's read translation, Harsha read purport.
Translation. Oh, son of brother, Prita, oh, conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are you ignorant? Are your ignorance and illusion now dispelled?
The Lord was acting as the spiritual master of Arjuna. Therefore, it was his duty to inquire from Arjuna whether he understood the whole Bhagavad Gita in its proper perspective. If not, the Lord was ready to re explain any point or the whole Bhagavad Gita if so required. Actually, anyone who hears Bhagavad Gita from a bona fide spiritual master like Krishna or his representative will find that all his ignorance is dispelled. Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or a fiction writer. It is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Any person fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or from his bona fide spiritual representative is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. O
Anuja read
son of
translation.
O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? Are you your ignorance and are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled?
This is the last verse where Krishna is addressing Arjuna. This is the last verse. We'll see from next day on. Furthermore, tomorrow Arjuna will respond to Krishna. And a glorious response Arjuna gives. Glorious response. So this is the last verse, chapter 18, text 72, where Krishna is addressing Arjuna. And he is addressing Arjuna as Dhananjaya. Uh, Partha. He is addressing Arjuna as Partha and then Dhananjaya. Mm, And tomorrow Arjuna is going to tell mm, Krishna, uh, And when Krishna first addresses Arjuna, I think chapter 2, text 3, Krishna first addresses Arjuna. That also Krishna calls Arjuna Partha. Anyways, like this is a bit information side and some meanings also. Krishna's heart we want to understand. Na? So the first time Krishna addresses Arjuna, chapter 2, text 3, Partha, and the last here, 1872, Krishna addressing Arjuna as what? Uh, as Partha and Dhananjaya. Now, some of the things we don't want to get too caught up with the stats, with information in Bhagavad Gita, how many times Krishna addressed Arjuna, how many times Arjuna addressed Krishna, what names and all. Mm, they have their significance, values, and all, but we don't want to study it in a way that it becomes an analytical or intellectual study. No, and that would be again a big blockage to make it an analytical or intellectual study. Bhagavad Gita study should be study of the heart. We should only and only bring heart into it, not even mind as such say. But what to do, conditioned souls? Once we take the message by heart, then mind, intelligence, everything will come about. But if we are too intellectually trying to get gratify ourselves, na, get pleasure of intellectually studying scriptures, that oh yes, I'm relishing studying scriptures intellectually and all. Then no, again our objective is what? Krishna becomes the recipient. Krishna should relish, Krishna should enjoy. Na? So we should have to read, study, and deal, act, behave with Vaishnavas in a way that Krishna becomes pleased. That should be our consideration altogether. So here and like previous verse, Krishna says now, and one who listens with faith. Faith is required. Faith is required. It is faith that will take us all the way through. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells one who listens with faith. Shrimad Bhagavatam, Krishna tells one who listens with faith. Sukdev Goswami tells one who listens with faith. eh, One who listens, one who is intelligent sufficiently, adequately. One who is sufficiently intelligent, adequately intelligent, not fully intelligent, and definitely not over intelligent, not over smart, not too intelligent. uh, Just the right amount of intelligence, the basic intelligence, the educate. Meaning what? One who is faithful, one who is sincere. Uh, Devotee life means what? A life of simplicity and honesty. That is devotee life. And that is a peaceful life. A life of simplicity and honesty is the peaceful life. No crookedness, not like uh, gaps in consciousness, not thinking something but speaking another thing and acting another thing. These are not at all the traits of a sadhaka. Sadhaka should not be like this, so we should not think on those lines. So we should listen with faith and without envy, becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. When we take ourselves as belonging to Krishna and when we take others belonging to Krishna, envy will be gone then. Envy is why? Because we are again, envy is what? Active jealousy. Na? Envy is active jealousy. Jealousy in itself is like, say, passive. But when the jealousy becomes active, then it is envy. Envy is what? That I cannot see the utkarsh, the glory of others. I cannot see. And not just I cannot see within myself, I do something. So that sort of envy will go away when I see myself as belonging to Krishna. My existence lies with Krishna. I'm a part of Krishna's existence. uh, and everyone belongs to Krishna. Everyone has the potential to be a pure devotee of Krishna. So when I see myself in that light and when I see myself others also in that light, then no envy. Then I will have no conflict with anyone. A sadhaka's life should be life free of conflict. You should not be living in conflict. Conflict means duality. And when we live in conflict, we live in duality. Or when we live in duality means we are carrying conflicts, we are carrying grudges, we are not light-hearted. And then we cannot progress. We cannot progress. No, we'll be stuck. We want to grow internally, externally also. But we can grow externally only when we have grown internally, say. Or external growth is not a real parameter. External growth means what? Okay, how nicely can one tie dhoti, kurta, tilak, and how nicely one can lead kirtan, other programs, and everything. Uh, That doesn't mean that we do not do things nicely. Of course, we do. But more is what? Internal growth, meaning humility, genuine prayer, genuine purity, not trying to act good, sound good, look good, or gain any name and fame. No. All glories to Krishna, all glories to Guru and Gauranga. So when we see ourselves as belonging to Krishna, others also belonging to Krishna, then we will not exploit anyone. And no one is exploiting us. No one. How can, if I belong to Krishna, can anyone has the capacity to exploit me? Hmm? If I'm a spirit soul, if I belong to Krishna, who has the capacity to exploit me? No one can exploit me. No one is exploiting me. Uh, So it is just through my misidentification with my body, I think that, okay, I'm being exploited, I'm being cheated. Everyone is helping me along the way to become Krishna conscious, to become tolerant, to become peaceful, to become humble, to become kind, and above all, to become Krishna conscious. So when I see myself as a friend of Krishna, and when I see others also as friend of Krishna, then a friend generally does not exploit other friend, right? No. When I see myself as belonging to Krishna and others even more belonging to Krishna, then I won't be exploiting anyone. No. And a sadhaka, see again, we carry na, before coming into Krishna consciousness, we don't like exploitation. We check a lot. Or is the institution exploiting me or what? Is this, what is the history and all? But somewhere along the path, then I myself become greedy for name, fame, all of these things. Uh, So we have been repeatedly doing all this only. Shri Shikhorantai Mayapur Sashi ki jai, Shri Tulsinath Maharaj ki jai, Shri Giridhari Lal ki jai, Shri Narasimhadev Bhagwan ki jai. Repeatedly we have been doing this, na. We have become devotees in previous lives, definitely, but not a pure devotee yet. And this life gives us an opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness, pure Krishna consciousness, to become a pure devotee. And here Krishna is addressing Arjuna. Again, look at the patience, look at the kindness, look at the love of Krishna. Uh, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Otherwise, Krishna is ready to speak again to Arjuna. So it's not like, okay, I'm in any rush. Oh, how many times and all. No, Krishna is ready to speak again to Arjuna. Do you have any further question? So Krishna is all the time in the world. Krishna here we see now the most gentle personality, the most patient personality. uh, Has all the time in the world, all the patience in the world, all the love, care in the world, uh, everything. What not for us? For us. See how much time we have for Krishna. And whose is time? Time is Krishna's only. Is time ours? No. Time is an agent of Krishna, right? Time belongs to Krishna. Time is Krishna. Uh, So in Krishna conscious life, if I learn to respect time, very nicely I will become Krishna conscious. If I learn just how to respect time. But if I cannot respect time, then how can I? become Krishna conscious now. I won't be helping myself if I cannot respect time. Arjuna also, na, timely he asked the question to Krishna. Huh? Timely he asked for help. Timely he's listening, and he's listening with attentiveness. Again, what is Krishna? What is the expectation? The expectation is not like, okay, do you know Sanskrit? Or do you know music? Do you know? No. The only thing is, are you open? Do you want? Are you willing? One thing is not sure. The only thing we are not sure of. Uh, there's only one thing which we are unsure, or it is sure that we are not sure. What? To become a pure devotee of Krishna. That is the only thing that I am sure that I am unsure of. Yes, it is sure that I am unsure of becoming a pure devotee of Krishna. Uh, It is sure that I do not desire to become a pure devotee of Krishna. Just check within ourselves, just for this moment. Say next this one night. How about becoming a pure devotee of Krishna? It will shake us up. We wouldn't want to, perhaps, because why? We fear so much. We love our independence. We love it. We crave. We love our attachment. We love our ignorance. We feel what? Okay, if I become a pure dev, oh, then means what? I have to surrender, then I have to follow, then I have to uh, dance, and I don't know what Krishna will ask me to do. What will he say? What will he do? Oh no. He may ask me to eat gulab jamun, but I want rasgulla. Uh, so if Krishna comes and tells us, no, okay, come, I'll make you a pure devotee. No, still we may not be interested. We are so attached with ourselves. The only ask is, so this is one thing we are not sure of. Had we been sure, na, if I really want to become a pure devotee of Krishna, no one can stop it. No one is stopping it. Uh, the kingdoms of Goloka are already open. Uh, the kingdoms of Goloka, the doors of Goloka, they are not at all locked. What to speak of open? They are already open. It's just I am locked in my consciousness. So here Krishna is asking Arjuna again. The ask is what? Attentive mind. Ah, with an attentive mind, are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Ah, are you having any ignorance or what? Ah, have your ignorance and illusions now been dispelled? Means, do you still have any questions, or are you okay? Everything addressed. Are you comfortable? Do you still have any doubts? And if Arjuna says yes, I have, something remains and all, then what? Yes, Krishna is there to dispel further, to speak further, to clarify further everything. So the only thing is, again, I do not take myself seriously. Look how much Krishna is taking Arjuna seriously. So much. I don't take myself that seriously. The day I appreciate devotee association, the day I appreciate devotee association, I wouldn't want to distract myself. No, I wouldn't want to lose any focus. I wouldn't want to again. So take this, think this. What we start one day, it should come in our life, in our practice of Krishna consciousness. What? This desire to make 100 billion pounds. Again, by 100 billion pounds, meaning this desire to become a pure devotee of Krishna. That we desire to become a pure devotee of Krishna. And we do then sadhana. Yes, no, I will attend every Mangal Aarti. I won't be late. We'll do everything. Huh? But in the along the way comes what? Distractions. Some anarthas, na? Like we see anarthas what? This duskriti uttha anartha, sukriti uttha anartha. Means Unwanted desires coming from past life impressions, karmas and desires which are sinful. So those are blockages in devotional service. Then those are good pious. Pious is also a blockage in devotional service. Then what? Aprado uttanartha. Practicing devotional service and doing aprad, offenses in service, seva, offenses in chanting. And the heaviest is Vaishnava aprad, Guru aprad, heaviest. They become a big blockage in advancement in Krishna consciousness. Tremendous blockage. And then what? Aparadutha anartha and then bhakti utha anartha. What anartha? Name, fame, pride, these things. Uh, what is there for me in it? Such agenda. So we have to go all the way through. We cannot ever afford to just relax. Uh, we cannot afford to relax. We cannot afford to be casual. We cannot afford to settle down anywhere. So 100 billion, we have to desire one day to become a pure devotee of Krishna, and then that desire has to be always maintained. That is should be our only desire focus. Currently, we are just this thing is sure that I do not want to become a pure devotee of Krishna. And if I make this as a surety, yes, I want to become a pure devotee of Krishna, then there is help all the way. No one is stopping us. And it is again this weakness of heart that what if I become a pure devotee of Krishna? What will happen then? I will lose all the independence. Huh? I cannot be free. Then I will always have to attend classes. Then I will always have to do japa. I cannot just go for a walk. I just cannot go for some shopping. I cannot watch Netflix then. I cannot watch YouTube then. I cannot do gossips then. I won't cannot take stress and all that. No, I like to people like taking stress. Some people they like taking stress. Stress in job, stress in finance and all. If some people if they have not received any stress for a week or two, it's like, oh, it's so boring, so dull. I want some tensions in life. Want some worries in life. We are so used to now. We are so used to, so conditioned. So this is why we make bhakti also casual, na? See, why is it we see na bhakti in coming into bhakti initially what oh very attracted towards bhakti, but after 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, what's like this? I know all the artis, I know the temple programs. Mm, I I've listened to classes, I've read Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Rati na utpadayati yati rati shramevehi kevalam. And this rati needs to be developed. Rati means attachment. Okay, any thoughts, questions, comments, or clarifications, or any addition?
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I guess from my personal experience, it's like when kind of like getting into more Krishna consciousness, you start feel like your old friends start to fall apart. All friendship, like old friendships, start to fall apart because you don't find anything common. And it's kind of like it's kind of a bit struggling, but if you like, I guess it's like if you really like um really focused and motivated, I guess it shouldn't be a problem. But it is for me. It's I guess it's a little bit like challenging. Yeah.
The general knowledge, the general definition of life changes, na? The basic concept of life changes. For a sadhaka, a practicing devotee, life is like Krishna conscious life. Then the adhar, the basis of life is what? To associate with devotees, to read, hear, chant, and all. Even though it's a process form, but still, yes, God exists. Uh, Krishna is God. That basic definition changes altogether. Uh, and this is why a devotee sadhaka is wanting Krishna to be the center of his life. And others have got the center as sense gratification. And why do we have conflict? Because of mismatch of center, different centers. So there is bound to be conflict. But if center is same, then no conflict. So Krishna and his pure devotees, there are no conflict. No conflict. So if we can appreciate pure devotees, pure devotional service, Bhakti Devi, uh, then we can advance in Krishna consciousness. And one day we have to desire to become nothing but a pure devotee of Krishna. Uh, we should take vow and we should check ourselves, watch ourselves. How do we act? How do we behave? Are we facilitating someone in advancing in Krishna consciousness or creating a barrier or obstacle? And within myself, am I facilitating myself? Am I helping myself grow in bhakti, or am I creating a bubble or a illusion or a blockage for myself? When we study ourselves, we'll realize that I myself am the problem. No one else is the problem. I am the problem, and I am creating more trouble for myself. And when we take good association, we realize, wow, devotees are the real help. Devotee is my own. Rest no one. Friends, family, society, and all. They're not ours. One who has put Krishna in the center of his life, he or she is ours. So Krishna is asking this only. Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, other places, this is the criteria. Have you heard with an attentive mind? Only this much. Attentive mind means with willingness, with sincerity. You know, sometimes we hear what to find problems, to find fault. Oh, yes, this wrong, that is wrong. And sometimes we hear like in Hindi commonly say na, हंसेगा लेकिन फंसेगा नहीं. ना? हंसेगा खूब, फंसेगा नहीं. As in the sense that we hear, oh wow, Bhagavad Gita amazing, बहुत बढ़िया प्रभु जी, बहुत अच्छा. Bhagavad Gita Krishna Bhavnamrit खूब भालो, very good. Hmm. But I myself won't practice. Oh, Hare Krishna is there, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, they are so good. बहुत भालो. They do big projects, big food distribution, Harinam, dress nicely and all. Oh, Bhagavad Gita, they study Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. But for ourselves, we don't want. Uh, we want the same old life, same old tensions we want to carry, same old style of life we want to live, same old things we harbor in our heart, and we want to carry them. We worry, what if lust goes from my heart? No, we want to be pure, but to the limit that I want to be pure. To that limit, to that extent that I find peace. Yes, we like being greedy. We like keeping an anger. And we like keeping a room for lust. What to speak of pride, na? Otherwise, we find, oh, so boring if I'm not carrying pride and if others are not pampering me. Uh, so boring it will be. We like creating our own plans. Lump it as Krishna conscious plan. It's very easy to preach to others. "Oh, Prabhu, you should have done like this. You should have thought. Don't you know, Prabhu? Bharat Maharaj's instance. Did you forget what happened to Prahlad Maharaj and all? Most difficult is to preach oneself. Mind gives so many reasons to justify, to justify. Yes. We don't even think how we are acting, how we are living, what we are doing, and all. We love our anathas. Uh, we have created home for them, na? And this will stay in our heart until and unless we appreciate a devotee on our life. This is the sutra. This is the sutra. Until and unless we appreciate a devotee on our life, these can never go away. And just appreciation won't help. Uh, Devotion means what? Dedication. Without dedication, there is no devotion. Can there be devotion without dedication? Dedication means what? Samarpan, surrender. So dedicate ourselves to devotee of Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. When we dedicate ourselves to a devotee of Krishna, just appreciation is again some people are admirers of Bhagavad Gita, and it's a bit of a pain to see that throughout the life they just remain admirers. Some are distant admirers, will come to temple once a month, or when some guests have come in the house, oh, let's take them to ISKCON temple as a sightseeing, as a tour. Big ISKCON temples worldwide, and they do good kirtan, prasad, so social, cultural, picnic. Still good, but why stays that far? We all want admirer, but just being an admirer won't help. So some they have respect for Bhagavad Gita, some have some admiration. But what? We want to be student of Bhagavad Gita. Then what? We want to be followers. We want to be practitioners of Krishna consciousness. We want to imbibe fully Krishna consciousness, wholesome. It should become life. It should become life proper, not like a part of life or a way of life or material life or spiritual life. No, it should become life. And we have to train ourselves. We have to preach ourselves. We have to educate ourselves. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, while going to bed, what beat the mind with thousand shoes? Huh? Mahamantra. And waking up, beat the mind with thousands of brooms. Jhaduna. Again with Mahamantra. So much of education we need. No one needs to change. I need to change. Others may or may not okay, but it is first I need to change. So this is Krishna is saying, do not harbor any doubts. Uh, be open, be clear, and we have to give up this duplicity. Mm, We have to give up. This is when we find some attraction in Krishna. Only then we would want to give up duplicity, and then attraction will come about. How does that attraction come about? Predominantly when we hear from a realized soul. Hearing. When we hear Krishna Katha from a realized soul, that purity will transpire in our heart. Purity of sadhu and sincerity of the listener. Huh? Purity of the speaker and the willingness and sincerity of the listener. Such a great match. Sukhdev Goswami, pure sadhu, purest, and Parikshit Maharaj, such a keen listener, such a eager listener, such a sincere, willing, desirous listener. Krishna, supremely pure, Bhagwan apapa vidyam There's no trace of pap in Krishna. And Arjuna also, desirous listener. So when we hear from a realized Vaishnava, then only that desire will come in our heart to become a pure devotee of Krishna. So it is extremely important to take Guru Padashraya. Yeah. Casual sadhaka, no, we want to take initiation. Yeah. We want to formalize our relationship with Krishna. Initiation is the greatest joy in a sadhaka's heart, in his life. And then we want to serve, dedicate ourselves. We mean it, yes. We are sincere. It's not about casual. Okay, any final thoughts, questions, comments, or clarification? So we are left with one choice, one option only, which is to grow. Which is to grow. We cannot afford to settle with 50 pounds, no, 15 billion pounds. We have to go all the way through. Along the path, yes, we will receive many accolades and we will receive many insults as well. But we shouldn't be distracting ourselves, no. And tomorrow we'll see how beautifully Arjuna replies to Krishna, responds to this, and overall, how beautifully. Okay. Thank you very much for your kind patience and attention and encouragement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.